Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be the team list discussion and review for round 23, and it's I'm nervous. I'm nervous to look at this team list, bro. There's a couple of big ones that there's one big Penrith player that I'm praying is named. I already know of a bit of carnage going on. So let's just get straight into it. Rabbitohs versus Storm, Thursday night game. Should be a pretty tough game for the Bunnies as a whole. Oh, Ali Katoa. Okay, we're starting out strong in the losses department. Ali Katoa is gone. The Rabbits, it looks like Cody Walker is back. So yeah, Gray obviously still at the fullback. Myers, Milne, Kenner, Gagai, Whiten, and Walker is named. Obviously, obviously if you own Walker, it's one to just keep an eye on because, what was it, a hammy or a calf? I think it was a calf for Walker. So it's one of those ones that if he doesn't pass sort of the final captain's run or later training runs, then he could get ruled out potentially. But if he's good to go, he's good to go. Miley, Cook, Kepi, Murray's still on the edge. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't really get it. I mean, Kalamatangi has been great at lock. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't know why they wouldn't fucking put Kalamatangi to prop. I mean, let's be real. Prop is like very similar to lock, and Kalamatangi is a bigger body, so he can definitely play prop. And Cameron Murray go back to lock. I guess they granted they do have like a few back rowers out, but Murray, I just feel like Murray's so wasted on the edge. So, I don't know. Kalamatangi's been killing it, but I just think, why not put Kalamatangi to prop and Murray to lock? But fair enough. Mamazoulis on the bench. So, again, potentially a issue for Cook. I mean, Cook has been killing it. I don't think Mamazoulis was on the bench last week from memory. So, again, we don't. Going forward, surely they're going to start giving Mamazoulis some more minutes, right? I'm trying to remember if the Bunnies have actually signed another dummy half for next year. I don't think so from memory. So at the moment, Mamazoulis, I think, is the next man up. It would make sense to give him some game time, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, as a non-Cook owner, I am hoping Mamazoulis takes some minutes off him, but we'll see. Tallis Duncan on the bench. Again, why not? You just put Tallis Duncan at in the back row. I think you'd do a great job. Thomas Burgess and Shaq Mitchell. So the Storm, Pappenhausen, Warburg, Cowarth, Meany, Anderson, Munster back for his second game. Look pretty sharp. Honestly, you look pretty damn sharp. You wouldn't really know he needed surgery on his hips because of this groin injury. He looked pretty good. I mean, maybe a little, obviously not at 100%, but he looked pretty good last week. Jerome Hughes, Kamakamitha, Grant, King, Blore, Lee Aero moves into the back row, and big Nelson Asafa Solomona at lock. He played big minutes last week, Solomona. It was a little strange. I don't exactly know how many minutes he played, but he played a lot of minutes. I don't know. I mean, Kamakamitha was out, I guess, so they needed a few more from him. But yeah, Bellamy just sort of kept him going. I thought he was pretty good. I'm not going to trade him in, but you know, with Payne Haas out, if you needed to free up cash, big Nelson with a bit of upside, but nah, I definitely would not do that. But yeah, playing at lock, fucking Ali Katoa. That's annoying. I mean, obviously he injured his knee. I'm trying to remember. He injured it in the first half, I think. He had a bit of time off. He finished the game though, so I'm assuming it's. I mean, I didn't hear any sort of major reports from him, so I'm assuming it's like a minor thing, and it's probably just a good chance to give him a bit of a rest. So it's not great, but I do have the cover for him, so it's okay. I think it should be okay. As long as it is only like hopefully a week, and then he's back for the run home unscathed. But we'll see. Tyron Wishards, Valopo, and Lewis and McDonald. So, I mean, Wishart, so it's been good for Grant. I genuinely, I did expect Grant to get a few reduced minutes with Wishart on the bench, but they've definitely just used Wishart the last couple of games anyway, just as a lock on the field as well as Harry Grant. Like, surely Bellamy's going to give Grant a bit of a spell in the later couple of rounds. I hope so. Again, as a non-Grant owner, I would love for him to get some reduced minutes, but I guess, you know, they want to have a good charge into the finals, and Wishart, I mean, I got to be honest, like, it's I'm not, obviously Munster is a better player than Wishart, but fuck, like, as soon as Munster and Hughes were back as a combo, they didn't look, they honestly, they didn't look as sharp as when Hughes and Wishart were the halves pairing. I don't know, maybe a little bit of a coincidence, like it was just one of those games, like, but I don't know, I mean, the Hughes and Wishart combo was absolutely chugging, dude. Like, they were playing so well off each other. But obviously Munster was going to come back. It was sort of like a, you know, double-edged sword, so to speak, with how well Wishart was playing, but it is what it is. So yeah, one big loss already, so a little bit of carnage on top of the carnage of like Payne Haas, and I mean also the Roosters having a bye. Titans versus the Sharkies. So we got a few notable players in this one. Oh my, Bo Fermor's out. What are you talking about? Bo Fermor is out. Oh fuck, that's right. I did see this one. Yeah, I saw it on fucking Twitter. He has like I think it was a bruised kidney, which sounds awful. I'm hoping it's like, I didn't really look too much into it, because I was pretty tilted when I saw it, but hopefully it's one that, like, it sounds a lot worse than what it is. I'm assuming it's more a pain issue, and hopefully he's back next week. I mean, honestly, well, so the thing is, like, obviously I'm hoping like Katoa and Fermor, it's like 1 week and they're back, but at the same time, this genuinely is like the last week of like a difficult week in terms of buys, because last week we had Manly, which was a very popular and well-owned team, and then this week the Roosters, very similar, very well-owned. I think I have 3 of each for the teams. The rest of the weeks I've only got like one player to, I don't think I've got 2 players from any team for the run home, which is, or maybe 2 from one of the teams or something like that, or a couple. But it's very easy to cover. The only other difficult round is round 27, and we don't know what's going to happen for resting. So as much as I hope Fermor and Katoa are back, I think, honestly, like, it should be okay. I think the depth is pretty good. We can't afford to have too many more injuries pop up. I don't know why the screen keeps fucking flickering, but I'm sorry. Fermor, I'm not going to lie, Fermor is a bit more annoying just because of he is a pod. Like, Eli Katoa is owned by a stack of people in the top echelon, but Fermor, he's been poddish and he's been fucking brilliant for me all year. So it does hurt the Fermor out, especially against the Sharkies. I think he could have done some good stuff, but yeah, it is what it is. Keeney still a fullback, so I thought Brimson maybe was a shot at coming back. It looks like he's on the extended, so I guess keep an eye on that. Pereira, Kelly, Sammy, Fafita, Campbell, Foreign, Fodawaker, Verrills, Clark, Fafita, Haas moves in to Fermor's spot. Randall doing a good job at lock. Jolliffe back for his, I think, second week. I mean, he hasn't got the start. I mean, I guess he was a potential front row option for a Payne Haas. He was killing it at the start of the year. He was getting a couple of tries. His base was incredible, but yeah, on the bench, I don't think you could do it. If he was starting, he could have been a sneaky little pod, Jolliffe, instead of going like a Tarpany or one of the other big guys like a Fanua Blake. But yeah, on the bench, obviously not going to do that. Pahulu and Palacia. Yeah, Brimson on the extended, so yeah, I don't know. I guess keep an eye. The Sharkies, so Trindle, oh, that's good. That's good to see. I'm very happy about that. Obviously, there's been a bit of a fucking snowball effect with not going Trindle originally and going Jai Gray, which worked out fine, but it then snowballed into getting Dane Laurie, who was then out. So it's been a bit of a it's been a bit of a turbulent time. If I just went Trindle, it would have been a lot smoother. But now Trindle is out for a week with that Hemi issue, so it's the carnage. The carnage is widespread this week. Hemlin Ueli is also out. He's been crippled with injuries. I mean, his whole career, but especially this season, he cannot string like back-to-back games at all. But Will Kennedy, Sione Qatar, Ramian Iro. Stone Street, obviously. Yeah, Mulatalo's out for, quite a while, actually. I forgot about that. Atkinson, Blake Brayley moves to 7. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess they... Having your two... It is a bit rough for the Sharkies. Having your two... I mean, the Sharks were in like a pretty good position to have like two genuine halfback options. Obviously, Nico Hines and then Trindle, I think, is still pretty underrated as a player. But having two like genuine, pretty decent, or like honestly gun halfbacks to choose from, losing both of them, that's a bit unfortunate. So Blake Brayley fucking moves to 7. Royce Hunt, Cameron McInnes regains his dummy half spot of years ago. He's a terrible passer of the footy, but he will make his tackles, so he'll do his job. Royce Hunt, Kafusi, Wilton, Nickera, Williams moves into the starting side. Jaden Beryl. Okay, that's... no, it's not... Well, yeah, it doesn't really affect it too much. Like, yeah, I'm sure... Maybe McInnes, 20, 30 minutes. Williams will go to the bench. Yeah, McInnes will just go to lock, and Beryl will go to dummy half. I actually really like Jane Beryl. I think another guy that I think some clubs could really use as a dummy half. Like the Sharks, like honestly, I think Blake Brayley's a bit of a fucking myth if I'm being honest. But they've got a dummy half they think is good enough. There's a lot of clubs I think could use a Jane Beryl. I think he's a very, very good footy player. Siva Talakai, Rudolph, and Hazelton. So this is a tough game. I mean, not Supercoach purposes, but just in general, I don't know. I don't know who the fuck I'd be picking this one. Honestly, I'm leaning the Titans, but the Titans, I feel like every time I pick the Titans, they disappoint me and they shit the bed. But the Sharkies without Trindle and Hines, without Mulatalo, like it doesn't look a great sight on paper. The forward pack is still very good, granted, but the Titans do look like a team with quite a few points, which they've shown the last they've been pretty damn good, the Titans, over the last month or so. So yeah, it should be I don't know, it's going to be an interesting game for sure. But yeah, Beau Fermor out, another cruel blow for me. But yeah, Trindle out as well, which is nice. All right, Panthers Eels, please. Oh yes, thank you. Oh, thank you. That is beautiful. Dane Laurie. It doesn't make up for everything. I mean, if Dane Laurie comes out and goes massive, then it probably still doesn't make up for it because I missed out on a big score the first week. We missed him last week, but if he can repay the faith a little bit, it'd be nice. It'd be very, very nice. It's a good matchup. I mean, the Eels at home, I mean, they do have a knack of playing pretty good footy against the Panthers, so I'm not... I do expect the Panthers to win, especially, Moses obviously out, but I don't expect an absolute walkover. I mean, I hope so, for Laurie's sake. Hopefully he can get in the points, but I don't know, the Eels are a team that can... They even, at their best, they can match the better sides in the comp. So it's just a matter of if they turn up for this one. And it is at CommBank, so it's a good... it's as good as it could get under the circumstances, I guess. As it were. But the Eels, obviously, Gutherson, Tungo, Panasini, Blaze Salangi, Russell, Dylan Brown, Dejan Arce, the forward pack, as expected. Nothing of note. Yeah, pretty much as expected. Dan Kia, is he making his debut? Did he play last week? I don't know. The name does not sound familiar, but he might have played. I can't remember. But obviously the Lussick and Hands is still a little bit... Obviously, they both scored pretty well last week, but yeah, if you own Hands or Lussick, it's yeah, still a bit of an issue having both these guys, especially Lussick, who could play like 5 minutes and score like 5 points. But moving on to the Panthers, obviously my boy Laurie's back. Taruva, Tungo, McLean, To'o, Cleary, Luai. Forward pack, Lindsay Smith. I know the last time he was named, it was a late switch with Eisenhuth, so it might happen again. Rest of forward pack as expected. Liam Henry, Gaia, and Tolau on the bench. So, yeah. Pretty much unchanged. The only big news for me is that Dane Laurie is back. You absolute beauty. Yeah. Hopefully, fuck, I would love if... it would be nice if he just gave Dylan Edwards a few more weeks off, but we'll see. I don't think he's going to do it. If he's fit, he'll play, but I can always hope. Raiders versus Seagulls. So the Raiders, I mean... they're not really that relevant in Supercoach terms. I mean, the only guy I think at the moment is Joey Tarpany. The rest of the team, Ethan Strange comes back in. He was, I mean, I guess he was dropped last week. Maybe just a bit of a rest. I don't know. I think he's been pretty damn good this season. Probably fell off a little bit, but I think, I don't know. I give him a bit of a freshen up. I understand. I think he's definitely... he deserves to get the spot back, though. Let's be honest. Fogarty, been very good since coming back. There's the man there, Joey Tarpany. I mean, if we fucking knew Tommy Starling was going to maintain the dummy half spot and score so well, he could have been a good pickup like weeks ago. But yeah, at the point now, he's too expensive and it's not worth it. But yeah, Tarpany, very interesting. There's quite a bit for me to dissect in my preview of what I'm going to do with Payne Haas, Dom Young, potentially other trades as well. Hudson Young has been he was actually a bit of a pod. I know a few people had picked Hudson Young up. He's been pretty good. I mean, I definitely don't have the trades to do it, but if you had a few, he's not a bad little pod in the back row. Whitehead, Smithy. How the fuck is Morgan Smithy's named? He was gone. Legitimately, how is he playing? I guess they reeled it a cat too, but like, that looked like a clear as day category 1 concussion. That's crazy. That's crazy he's been named. I'm not going to lie, but I mean, who cares, I guess. It's not really relevant. Adam Cook is on the bench. Mooney, Mariota, and Sasangi. The Manly boys. So, obviously, they're going to be fresh after a bye. Which means Garrick is back, which is great. I hope a lot of... I know some people traded him out when he obviously copped that head knock and they had the bye. I hope more people than I expected traded him out, because I think that's madness if he did. He could be... I wouldn't be shocked if he's the top scoring centre wing to finish the season. The Seagulls have a pretty good run home. They're going to be pretty fit and firing after a bye. Tommy, Saab, Talau, Lehigh Hopewadi is back, which I guess it's been a few weeks. It feels like it's really soon for him to come back after a pretty nasty cheekbone fracture. Like, it was pretty nasty injury. But yeah, it's good to see Lehigh back in the side. Luke Brooks, Cherry Evans, Paseka, Croker is back as well. That's great to see. I think that is huge for Manly as well. Like, Croker, I think Croker is very underrated as a player. Like, he's not a guy that's going to get you points necessarily, but he's going to stop points. Like, he's a gun defender. He leads the line speed better than any dummy half in the comp, or is as good as like a Robson, who else is very good at leading line speed? It's probably Croker and Robson that really come to mind, just with their line speed and just solidness in defense. But yeah, it's a huge in for the Manly boys. Nathan Brown starts. Hamoli, great to see. That's a big in, obviously, for people like me that held him over the suspension. I still understand, like, if you traded him out weeks ago, it made sense too, but for me, I had the depth to cover him, so now he becomes a very, very good option going forward. Carl Lawton, Jake Trebojevic, Gordon Chen Kum Tong on the bench, Benny Trebojevic, Billamore, and Sipley. So Simpkin, he's straight out of the team. I know he was starting. He did a fair enough job, but I think this does make more sense to have Chen Kum Tong as the X factor off the bench, and obviously Croker good to go, which is great to see. But yeah, some big inclusions for the Manly team, which was, expected. They were obviously going to come back from the bye, but still a big inclusion for anyone that held Olukwatu and who didn't trade Garrick. I don't think many people did, but some people I'm sure did. The Cowboys Broncos, so oh boy, the Broncos. Oh shit. Oh boy. This makes me happier that I bought in Val Holmes last week, because you look back. If you look, when I look back at, when I traded at Holmes originally over Origin, I think that was a great trade out. I think I traded him out at a great time. And I think I brought him back at a good time. But looking forward, it was a pretty tough run home. Taking on the Broncos, and there was a couple other tough games, but they were in Townsville, so they were nice-ish matchups. But all of a sudden, this Broncos matchup is like a fucking absolute gun matchup. Granted, the Queensland Derby, if this isn't a game that the Broncos turn up for and play at least a little better, I'll be a little shocked, but I still think there'll be points in this game. So Holmes, again, he becomes a massive inclusion against a pretty flimsy Broncos defense as it is right now. Without Payne Haas, go forward and, effort defensively. Ezra Mam gone as well, who, hasn't been in the best form, obviously, but still, it's another one out. So he becomes very, very good. Scotty Drinkwater, again, if people that held Drinkwater, he's been killing it. Everyone's talking about Ponga, Trebojevic, and Tedesco, obviously, but Drinkwater's just gone about his business. 140 last week. He's been on fire this year. So I don't know. It's a tough. If you own Drinkwater, you definitely wouldn't be selling this week. But for the run home, you probably do have to trade Drinkwater to one of those other three guys, but fuck, he's been good. He's been very, very good, and he's always the focal point of the attack. It's probably the one thing with Tedesco primarily out of the other guys. Tedesco, the Roosters can score a lot of points at times, and Tedesco not really feature. It's less likely that it'll happen, but it can happen. It can be Sam Walker's show and the outside backs, whereas the Cowboys are going to score a lot of points. It is off the back of Scotty Drinkwater. It's just what it is. So if the Cowboys are going well, Drinkwater is flying. So yeah, I don't know. It'd be a tough one if you still held. The rest of the backline, as expected, Tommy Dearden, Townsend, forward packs. So obviously Robson, McLean, McIntyre starting. Lukey, Nanai, Cotter is back from a head knock, which is good to see. I don't know why is Nanai in the 24 jersey? Is that just a mistake? I'm confused. Why is he in a 24? Harrison, Edwards, McKaylee, Finfuyaki, and Griffin Neem. As expected, the Broncos. So Walsh, Karapani comes back in. I think Corey Oates has been dropped, I'm assuming. Gatoni Staggs, Dean Mariner, Jesse Arthurs, Josh Rogers comes in with Reynolds. Corey Jensen, Xavier Willison starts. Which, I honestly, Willison becomes an okay little downgrade as well. Again, I don't think it's worth it for me. If you've got, a lot of trades left, or, I think if you got, 6+, I think that's, a lot in my eyes at the moment. And if you needed money to, make some big moves, I don't hate, going Payne Haas down to a Willison or I don't know. I haven't really looked at prices, but even a fucking Corey Jensen, being very rock solid, making a couple of $100K from a trade like that, and then using that money to upgrade other positions. Because again, the front row, I don't know. I don't think it's worth going Mitch Barnett at over 800K. I don't love Fanor Blake still. Round 27 buy on top. Joe Tarpany, I do like Tarpany, but Ricky Stewart's a fucking weird guy. He can just get 4 minutes one game, which will really kill you. So I don't know. I don't hate like the idea of that. Like if you've got less trades like me, if you're gonna trade out of Payne Haas, I think it's definitely to another like top end front row. But yeah, we'll discuss more about that in the preview. Piacora, Ricky, and Carrigan with Moser, Hetherington, Saylor, and Tapa'u on the bench. So again, they've gone with the fucking. I mean, this sort of it does. I mean. Honestly, Paddy Carrigan becomes like a pretty good pod back row option. Doesn't quite have the upside, but fuck me, he's gonna play 80 minutes. Like I don't see Carrigan not playing 80 minutes for the rest of the season. They've got two props on the bench, and they got Moser and Saylor. Like Carrigan's gonna play 80 minutes. Like again, I've got a stacked back row. I mean, if Green said if Fermore's out for like a good chunk of the season with this injury, I don't know. Even Katoa, if he's gone for a while, I don't hate like a Carrigan with this forward pack. Fuck me, dude. Yeah, there's minutes, and even saying that, someone like a Xavier Willison or a Corey Jensen could be very, very handy little front row options if you wanted to go that route. I mean, yeah, Hetherington and Tapa'u not going to play huge minutes, if we're being honest. So Carrigan is in for a big few weeks coming up, it looks like. But yeah, Reece Robson, obviously, I need him to keep going well, which he has, and he should be fresh for the run home, or like fresh-ish, I guess. He's had a few rests after Origin. Then we have the Dragons v the Bulldoggies. So I don't think there's too much. Actually, there is one big potential, and that's Josh Curran. Curran is named. The Dragons, Tyrell Sloan, Zach Lomax. So Lomax is getting very, very tempting. And obviously with the Dom Young, well, again, we'll talk more about this, and this is what I was talking about with the Payne Haas versus Dom Young. We'll talk more about that in the preview. But Lomax, again, you can wait a week for sure, because it's a tough matchup against the Doggies. But next week, the Dragons have a good run. I think Lomax is... I mean, he's just he's so fucking good. He's got the goal kicking. He is the focal point of the attack. Like, if there's nothing doing, they're kicking it to Lomax. He's getting involved. Like, he's an absolute gun. So he's getting it at a nice price as well as Zachary Lomax. But the rest of it, Sully, Finai, Tuipulotu, Flanagan, Hunt, the forward pack as expected. Nothing really Supercoach relevant there. The Doggies, obviously Tracy, Kiraz, Sherry, Crichton, Adokar. I mean, I know a lot of people are still very keen to try and get Kiraz in, and I mean, yeah, like Kiraz is just, again, he's an absolute gun. Like, the base power is out of control. He just has to get like one attacking stat, and he's going big. So yeah, he's a center winger that he's not a must-have by any means, but the Dogs do have a really good run home as well. They've got a pretty good draw coming up. So I think if you can get Kiraz in, it's a tough, like they're literally, I think they'll be on the, are they going to come up against each other? Fuck, I think they are too. Kiraz is on the, I know Lomax is on the left. Kiraz is on the right, isn't he? So they'll come up against each other, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that's a big one, because honestly, if you had the choice between going Lomax or Kiraz, honestly, I don't know. I think I would lean Lomax just with the goal kicking. I think I would just sneak Lomax ahead of Kiraz, and probably, I think Lomax is a little bit, or like quite a bit cheaper as well at this point, or surely he's a bit cheaper. I'd probably lean Lomax, but it's a tough choice. It's a very tough choice, especially if they are coming up against each other. It'd be very interesting. But the rest of the backline, as expected, Burden, Sexton. So Curran is named. Marnie, Hughes, Kickout, Preston, Mann, Hayward, Hotboy, Morin, and Harry Hayes. So, I mean, this is the one good thing with the Dogs and Curran. So, it's an AC injury in his shoulder. It's a pain tolerance type injury, usually. And if they could rest him, I'm sure they would. But Max King's still out for a few weeks. They sort of need Curran. Like, it's going to be interesting. I will not be shocked if Curran is a late out in this one, which would probably screw me over. But yeah, we'll talk about. Again, it comes into the front row options. But yeah, it's very annoying with the Curran injury because the front row. Also, I went from like the front row being like really solid. I had Terrell May, Curran, Fainu, and Liam Henry all like really playable and really solid. I was like, you know what? Let's get a really good front row forward in Payne Haas, just solid, make it more solid, get some extra points. He goes down. Curran also picks up like 2 injuries in 2 weeks, so he has become like a bit of a liability. The front row is turned to dog all of a sudden in a couple of weeks, but. I hope he plays. I do hope he plays, but we'll see about that. I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical that he could be a late out for the Dogs in this one. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Dogs are obviously still fighting for like a top 4 finish, so they definitely want. They probably do need him. They probably do need him to play. Then we move on to the Dolphins versus the Warriors. Anything doing here? Dolphins backline as expected. Maxi Plass still at hooker. Tavita Pengai comes straight into the starting side after obviously he was 18th man last game, but he couldn't play. It was just the fact that they were like down a couple of troops with also, I guess, Cody Nikorima also back. I think, was Nikorima sick? There was something wrong with Nikorima. Pengai with that hamstring, I think. So yeah, Pengai again, he could be a late out as well with a hamstring niggle. The rest of back row as expected. Keeley, who I really like. Keeley, I think he's a pretty good prospect moving forward. Very good worker. Nichols, Stone, O'Sullivan, and then the Warriors. So Klokstad, Zalesniak, Leotau. I'm back. Leotau at center with Tuivasa-Sheck, and oh my god, Ed Cossey is back on the wing. How does this man keep getting a spot on the wing? He is like, I don't like to talk badly about players, but he is the worst winger, bro, I've ever seen. He's not good. Oh my, I don't know what side of the field they're on, but I know a lot of people are trading out Zarko. If Zarko is up against Ed Cossey, no, I think Zarko will be up against Dallin, right? But if for whatever reason Zarko was up against Cossey, I would definitely not be trading out Zarko. There is a hat trick coming for sure for either Bostock or Zarko against fucking Ed Cossey, dude. Oh my word. How does he keep getting a spot? I know they've got some injuries, but like, come on. Chanel Harris-Tavita still at 5'8", so yeah, still no Tamari Martin, Sean Johnson, Vanor Blake, Egan, Barnett, Niokore, Capel, Dylan Walker. Also, Dylan Walker, like Morgan Smith, he's copped a bit of a nasty knock. So, but yeah, he's been named. I don't think he did get ruled out of the game. Yeah, this is the same thing with like the Dane Laurie thing. Like, I thought if they got ruled out with a head knock, it was 11-day stand down unless you got like an exemption. I don't know. I'm a little confused by that. But yeah, Walker has been named. Freddie Lussick, Tom Ale, Jazz Tavanga, and Halasima, who he's a goer. Halasima, he's a very exciting young forward. I've very much enjoyed watching the limited minutes I've seen of him. Yeah, Tamari Martin, 18th man. I don't know. I mean, sure, I guess you could say maybe Harris-Tavita and Johnson sort of work a little bit better together, just because Tamari Martin probably similar to Johnson and the way they play, and they want their hands on the footy probably more often. But fuck, I mean, Tamari Martin, I don't know. I think he should be in that number 6 jersey, in my opinion, but that's okay. But the rest of it is what it is. I'm hoping that, Fanor Blake and Barnett get some reduced minutes. It'd be nice. Probably, will it happen this week? I mean, hopefully Walker does play big minutes. Like, obviously, with Walker going off, like, Barnett, I think, played more minutes last week. But if Walker plays big minutes at lock, that narrows the minutes. And then it's just a rotation between, like, Ale, Tavanga, and Halasima gets a little burst. So, hopefully that happens, and Fanua Blake and Barnett can fucking not play, like, 70, 80 minutes a week. That'd be nice. Then moving on. Is there one more? Yeah, one more game. The Knights versus the West Tigers. Absolute blockbuster, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Thankfully, well, yeah, I've got a couple of players playing in this one, so it does make it a bit more enjoyable. Obviously, Ponga. I mean, I can't get in Ponga, unfortunately. And I don't know. I probably wouldn't be trading Tommy or Tedesco anyway for Ponga this week, but if you were one of the, quite a few people that didn't get in Trebojevic, or for whatever reason you don't own Tedesco, and you're waiting for Ponga, I mean, now is like the ultimate time to get in Ponga. Taking on the Tigers, like, yeah, it doesn't get much better than this. At home, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, Ponga, he's looking good. The scores haven't quite come yet, but he is, like, yeah, those three, Ponga, Trebojevic, Tedesco, I don't know who's going to be the best two for the run home. Ponga could absolutely blitz it on the run home. But, yeah, it's a tough one. I think if you have waited, then I think you definitely go Ponga over any of the other fullbacks. But if you've already got, like, if you're in my position with Tedesco and Trebojevic, the only thing, if you've got a stack of trades, you could go freaky with it, and you could trade out Tedesco. Excuse me. You could trade out Tedesco for Ponga this week, and then next week you could go back to Tedesco. Like, if you got a lot of trades, you could go absolutely crazy, which I don't hate, but obviously I don't have the trades to do it. But if you did, I don't hate it. I don't hate that at all. Fletcher Sharp, Gagai, Luke is still in the centres, Marju. We will have to play Marju this week, but that is fine against the Tigers. Gamble, Crossland, Brayley starting, very, very good. I love to see it. I don't know. We've got quite a few players out this week, so I might have to play Brayley. I haven't actually looked at my team yet with all the outs. Might have to play Brayley. I'm not too sure yet. Saifidi, Thompson, Frizzell, Pierce Paul, Adam Elliott, Cogger, Croker, Hetherington, Jones, and then the Tigers. So yeah, Justin Olam obviously out for the rest of the season now. With that, he's getting surgery. He's also suspended. Ladu Fainu gone as well. Dream Buller, Alamole, Fartape, Dewey comes back in. Charlie Staines, Lockie Galvin with Caesar also returning. Stefano, Appy, Clemmer, Porter, Fainu, Papali'i, Talon de Silva, Safeheart, Pole, and Twile. So I do probably have to play Fainu, unless I trade Payne Haas. But, I mean, again, Fainu, like, I did miss out on his ton last week. He's probably not going to get another one. But, it's a pretty good matchup. I mean, the Knights have been pretty good defensively, but the Knights can do that. They've done it actually a few times against Penrith for whatever reason. I still remember a couple of years ago, I think it was like one of the first rounds of the season, I think the Knights won like 6-4. Like, it was a really, really low scoring game. The Knights, like, just fucking defended like unbelievably. They might have still got pipped up. I don't know. I can't remember the score, but I remember the game. It was like an absolute bludger because the Knights just put everything into defense. And they've done it a few times against Penrith, but they can then follow up the next week and let it slip. So I wouldn't be shocked to see this be a high scoring game. For whatever reason, it just, unless you are Penrith or the Storm, like one of the teams that are absolutely dominant at the time, it happens a lot with teams where there's a few more points on the taking. Obviously, they get a bit more excited. They're attacking a little bit more. They're scoring more points, but then it just, for whatever reason, it does just it leaks more points. Obviously it's tougher if you are throwing the ball a bit around a bit more. You're going to have a few more errors. You're going to be defending your mistakes, this and that, the fatigue factor. But it does just happen. If the dam bursts, it fucking bursts in both ways for teams. But Fainu, I think he's a pretty solid option. But yeah, overall, there is carnage. There's definitely carnage. Also, with all the Roosters players out, we got Crichton, Young, and Tedesco all out. So it's going to be an interesting little preview to see who we've actually got available. But yeah, obviously Galvin and Fainu, Marju. Brayley at a pinch we could play. Don't hate it, but he got his one attacking stat for the year last week. He probably won't get another one for the whole fucking season, but it is what it is. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. We'll be back for the preview very soon. These videos will probably go up like at the same time, basically, or maybe one will go. This one will probably go up in the morning on Thursday, and then I'll do the preview at night. Because it's Thursday, I was a little bit behind this week, so I probably won't get a chance to do like a pre-lockout one. It'll just be the preview / pre-lockout. But yeah, make sure to like and comment. I'll see you guys in the next one.